Segozu Akwego, Watkadu Aladu Ne Karihwanakere Live. I'm Kevin Lazor.
And I'm Claudia Tarbell, and we are broadcasting live from the Akwesasne Mohawk territory as we bring you news from in and around our community.
On today's show, the St. Regis Mohawk Tribal Police Department is on the hunt for a local man possibly dangerous, and an Indigenous author pens a new book about Akwesasne and the community's border issues.
Stay tuned, there's all that and more on today's show.
In local news, the St. Regis Mohawk Tribal Police Department is searching for a 28-year-old, Brett Curlyhead, who is wanted on numerous charges. Local authorities say he may be armed and is possibly dangerous.
The charges against him now, which he's wanted for, are attempted assault, second degree, attempted gang assault, menacing, second degree, and criminal possession of a weapon. Given the nature of the allegations and the charges against him for which he's wanted now, and the report that he was armed during that incident, we're approaching it that he is potentially still armed and dangerous based on those charges. I know there was some concern or question regarding last weekend. We followed up a possible report of him being at a location on State Route 37 near Frogtown Road, and the report at the time was that he was possibly armed, so we have to take all the precautions for public safety and officer safety.
So what can community members do to help you assist in your operation?
I would say that they can report any identification of him, any location he's at, they see him at. I would caution them to not get involved at all and just report any possible area they might see him in or think he's at, and we will follow up those leads.
In other local news, Stephanie Elizondo Grist, a Tiano woman from South Texas, says her ancestral land had become the nation's foremost crossing ground for undocumented workers. The area is barricaded by an 18-foot steel wall and is ravaged by drug wars.
When she visited Akwesasne, Grace says she recognized striking parallels to life on the southern border and decided to write the book, All the Agents and Saints.
Well, the book, All the Agents and Saints, is a 10-year project in which I'm examining what it means when an international borderline slices your ancestral land in two. Basically, I'm looking at the legacy of colonialism, and I'm looking at its modern-day manifestation. And so I worked on this book for about 7 years. And then I just so happened to get a job at St. Lawrence University and was a professor of creative writing there for a year. And I realized that I was in close proximity to a Native nation. I've always been very interested in Indigenous issues. So I came out here and was really struck by deja vu and realized that all of the issues that I had been writing about for 7 years in South Texas were happening right here. With a key difference, you all are really cognizant of these issues and you're fighting them in a way that I found quite empowering.
So what are the similarities that you saw with here in Mohawk, Akwesasne, and back home with the Tejanos?
Yeah, Tejanos, really everything. I guess the two that struck me the most poignant were the loss of language. That is something that happened in South Texas quite systemically in the 1950s. Children were really punished for speaking Spanish in school. People had their mouths washed out. Students, little kids would have their mouths washed out with soap for speaking Spanish in classroom. Teachers would take a ruler and smack them on the wrist, smack them in their open palms, which I understand you all have it even worse during the 150 years of Indian residential school. So actually everything that we experienced, you all experienced in a far more dire and scary strait. Also, I was really struck by environmental injustice. As I mentioned, we are surrounded by polluting industries, just as you all are surrounded by Superfund sites of Alcoa, GM, and Reynolds. And that actually has really become quite prominent in my life. I was recently diagnosed with ovarian cancer myself and just went through chemotherapy, which is why I look very different from the girl in the back of the book. This just came out a couple months ago, but I look very different now, as you can see. I lost all of my hair and, I almost lost my life because of, you can never prove what causes cancer, which I know all of the Mohawks can relate to. You all aren't certain what's causing all of your illnesses either, but I think that we need to see the similarities and rise and fight.
Stay tuned till the end of the show as we'll be giving away a signed copy of the book, All the Agents and Saints, to one lucky viewer.
Don't go away. Karihwanakere Live will be right back after this.
Nature's Gift Unique Fruit Bouquets offer fruit bouquets and platters for any occasion. Nature's Gift also provides healthy smoothies that will improve your immune system and health. Stop by Nature's Gift Unique Fruit Bouquets today. It's known as the most epic lip sync battle in Akwesasne and is held by the St. Regis Recreation Center. And with their new dance season underway, dance club organizer Laura Thompson tells Akwesasne TV about upcoming fundraisers and how you can get involved.
So our lip sync battle, we always get excited. Akwesasne always gets excited for it. We're trying to set our date for April 27th. It would be a Friday night here at the St. Regis Recreation. We always have a stand-in room when that show takes place. So what we're trying to do is get our nominations out there and get people to be committed to doing an act for our show. And 100% of that, all the funds from that go towards our dance club, which helps get our stage, get our DJs, get our decorations, get kids' costumes, everything. So, you know, like everybody gets so shy about it, and I just want them to say, you know, come out and do it, and they forget that laughter is a good medicine, you know what I mean? And that's what we need to do, like, because it is such a good show, and we just want everybody to come out and have a good time and laugh, you know? And all the proceeds go to all our kids.
Other fundraisers? Do you have any other fundraisers coming up?
We have all our kids, so there'll be 192 kids out there in our community, and they have 2 weeks to sell tickets for a jukebox. A jukebox, we have actually first, second, and third. We wanted to have prizes that do with music, so we bought all, like radios. We had 2 radios, so we are doing a first, a second, and a third place, and they're $5 a ticket. So I just want the community to, you know, like pitch in and buy a ticket from one of our kids. We're not really known for lobbying. We try to really do all our own fundraising ourselves. We don't go business to business or anything like that. So we just want to be self-sufficient and take care of our own and do. And I'm like, we have 13 dance teachers that came back, so I'm so happy that we. And I actually think I recruited 2 new ones tonight. So parents that came and want to help out. But
Lip sync battle is a lot of fun. I mean, I've done it the first year, and Stephen Thompson Oakes did it last year. And this year, he has to nominate someone.
Who did he nominate?
You!
What?
Yes.
No, I don't know how to dance.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But he did make his nomination, and we've got it for you here first. So let's see who he nominates.
Hey Sego, this is Stephen Thompson Oakes here to nominate someone for the 2018 lip sync battle happening April 27th. Last year I won with Mariah Carey's Emotion. How did you guys like that one? So this year I get to nominate someone, or I should say someones. So this year I am nominating the Akwesasne Boys and Girls Club staff, Jessica Creed-Jack, Myra LaFrance, and Lynn Thomas. Hope to see you there. They're gonna kill me. Oh no!
Well, there's his nomination, and you know, it's always a great show, and of course it's to benefit the children, so we're looking forward to this year's lip sync battle coming up really soon.
In nation news, the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake announced that it has approved a pilot project that will see electronic gaming devices installed in 2 local poker houses. ATV's Regan Jacobs has the story.
The possibility of having electronic slots in Kahnawake was first proposed by Playground Poker and Poker Palace separately in 2016. Mohawk Council of Kahnawake Chief Gina Deere says although the MCK is not partners in the project, they will still see revenue come their way.
This project was initiated again by community members. It wasn't initiated by council. A council is looking at additional revenues through the gaming stream as any other government is. And we have seen in the recent past, you know, with Mohawk Online, there is benefit to doing these gaming endeavors because the community has seen some benefit through Mohawk Online with the splash pad, the Mohawk language program, and most recently with the bus shelter. So this is about having monies come back to community and have the extra dollars in order to supply what the people need within the territory and not wait for government funding.
The pilot project, which was supported by a majority of Chief and Council, except Chief Carl Horn and Arlene Jacobs, along with Clinton Phillips abstaining, still has to be presented by the project's proponents to the community.
Well, it's what their involvement is and how the project is going to be rolled out because we're not involved in it, you know. They are the ones who are going to be doing this, so they have to explain to the community exactly what it is that they're doing. We're not involved in that day-to-day business operations.
Okay. Now, in the press release, it also stated that there was an exclusivity given to these two operators for a 3-year period. How did you guys arrive at the decision to do that, and why?
I don't see this as exclusivity. Because it's a pilot project, we want to measure the impacts to community before we go any further with any other projects. And that's the whole reason for saying this is a pilot project, because if things start to go awry, the good outmeasures the bad. There's steps that will have to be taken. So in the meantime, it's not about exclusivity, it's about seeing the impact it does have on the community as a whole.
Speaking of the community, what do they stand to gain from this type of deal? Well, according to Paul Rice, the Mohawk Council of Kahnawage's executive financial officer, he says a few $1 million or more could be expected.
So it's important to note that the project is, it is a privately owned project. The proponents did approach the council. So the council itself is not managing, or, we don't own the project per se. In terms of the revenue distribution, what we're expecting over the next couple of years could amount to anywhere between a couple of $1 million per year or higher. Depending on how the pilot project rolls out, its success, the timing, those kinds of things. So those are the kind of estimates that we're looking at, and we think that would be reasonable considering the market that exists around the community, right? Considering where we're positioned, and we haven't yet forecast that into the recent budget release. So those numbers aren't in there yet, but that's about what we're expecting over the pilot project period.
What percentage, and if we want to break it down that way, will or has the Mohawk Council asked for in terms of getting to that couple $1 million a year?
So the actual calculation of the revenue distribution will remain confidential.
Meantime, the proponents of the project are not releasing much details on the agreement either, except that they're very pleased that the MCK has agreed to move forward. Stan Mayo, one of the owners of Poker Palace, stated, "The endeavor will benefit the economy here in Kahnawake and generate much-needed funding in the community." And on behalf of Playground Poker, Mackenzie Cal Kirby, who said that other than the details in the press release, that they have a number of items requiring attention before providing any other details. But from the beginning, they've made it clear that the community would need to be considered every step of the way. Questions? Well, the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake and the proponents of the project plan on holding a public information session sometime in April where they plan on answering all of the community's questions. I'm Regan Jacobs reporting.
Don't go away, we'll be back with more here on Karihwanakere Live. Big Boys Gas and Tobacco, 20 Rocket Point Road, Akwesasne, New York, is your one-stop shop for all your needs. Stop in at the gas pumps, fill up your vehicle, and then stop into the convenience store for a quick snack, cold beverage, or just pick up your smokes. They carry many of tobacco brands, vape accessories, and more. Big Boys Gas and Tobacco always has the lowest gas prices and the lowest Canadian exchange rate. At Big Boys Gas and Tobacco, they also carry gifts and ideas for any occasion. Stop in and say hi at Big Boys Gas and Tobacco. You won't be sorry you did. The friendly staff at Big Boys Gas and Tobacco are always ready to help you out. Call 518-358-6144 or add them on Facebook.
In national headlines this week, thousands of students, teachers, and supporters, including Akwesasne TV's Brittany Bonaparte and Stephen Thompson Oakes, gathered in the nation's capital on Saturday, March 24th for the March for Our Lives rally. It was organized by survivors of a shooting that left 17 people dead at a Florida high school.
The demonstrators demanded action against gun violence, and their words were echoed throughout D.C. streets. They implored people to register to vote and pleaded with the lawmakers to take care of children. The event in Washington was one of more than 800 planned in the United States and other major cities worldwide. An estimated 800,000 people were there in Washington, D.C.
With more on gun control, the Akwesasne Mohawk Police Service, in partnership with the Ontario Provincial Police and other police services, are holding a gun amnesty beginning April 1st. The program is a proactive community safety initiative, and the goal is to improve public safety by reducing the number of firearms in the community.
The Akwesasne Mohawk Police Service is asking community members residing on the Canadian portion of the territory that may want to voluntarily surrender unwanted or illegally owned firearms to contact the Akwesasne Mohawk Police Service at 613-575-2340 and make arrangements.
Well, that's about all we have today on our show, but before we wrap up, we'd like to give away the book that we talked about earlier in the show. It's called All the Agents and Saints by Stephanie Elizondo Grice.
That's right, and we've got a signed copy for one lucky viewer. So with Easter this weekend, we're also going to be giving away something sweet, such as this big jar of jelly beans, which you could also win.
In the comments section, take a guess at how many jelly beans are in this jar. Now, in order to be eligible to win both prizes, you'll need to like and share this broadcast.
So take a guess, and the person who comes closest to the amount or gets it spot on, and if you also liked and shared this broadcast, you will win the book called All the Agents and Saints, which is signed by the author, and also ATV's Sweet Treat.
Check out our Facebook page by noon on Friday to find out if you are the winner. Nyawagoa for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed the program.
And remember, if you see news and current events happening in our community that you feel should be covered or featured on our show, send us an inbox on Facebook or give us a call at the station at 518-333-0387. Nyawan juweze wa delologe ne Akwesasne TV. Onigawahe.
Ona.
Honey.